I have curls like Superman. Hello replicants, welcome to the Sci-Fi Tavern. After more than a week going round and round trying to find a subject to talk about, and having to pass the MOT to the car this week, and failing it miserably, of course, I remember the idea that a friend, fan of cars and motorcycles, especially the Italian ones, gave to me weeks ago. Talk about cars in science fiction, especially the most ridiculous ones. Because not all vehicles can be as aesthetically magnificent as the Lexus in Minority Report, or so technologically advanced as the DeLorean in Back to the Future. Although aesthetically speaking, this one leaves a lot to be desired. Some are simply not practical nor pretty. Some in fact are the closest to a future Fiat Multipla. No, seriously, shame on me if someone saw me driving that. Horror. So this is my list of cars and one motorcycle tremendously ridiculous that we have seen in science fiction. Number 10. Eagle 5. Spaceballs. Okay, I admit it, this is a spaceship. But it's a motorhome, isn't it? And it isn't a space motorhome nevertheless. And it has tires, which is the important thing, and not all the vehicles in this list can say the same. And as every other motorhome in the world, it has kitchen, beds, bathroom, and in addition, wings and the possibility to fly at the speed of light, which is not as fast as Ludwig's speed, but it does the trick. In addition, his name, like the entire film, is a magnificent parody to all what Star Wars is and represents. And it has this sticker that is not even a joke in any other language that is not English. Uranus. Number 9. Taxi, the Fifth Element. It's probably not as ugly as it seems, and it's quite practical, at least with Bruce Willis at the wheel. But that thing about Mila Jovovich being able to go through the roof as if she was going through one of those curtains that keeps flies out of your home, and in addition, with not even a scratch, it kinda values the quality of that car. Because in fact, until Resident Evil, she wasn't able to get fit at all. Number 8. Taxi, Total Recall. And from one taxi to another. I don't really know which kind of problem production designers has against taxis in science fiction movies, but they tend to be the worst vehicles in existence. And this one, in addition to be horribly ugly, is driven by probably the worst representation of an automatic taxi driver in the world. I was going to say autonomous taxi driver, but that's a joke that only Spaniards would understand. And above all, he's vengeful.
The fare is 18 credits, please.
Sue me, dickhead.
And sarcastic.
We hope you enjoyed the ride.
Number 7. War Boys Duke Wagon. Max Fury Road. I admit it, this one is going to be controversial, I know. We all were freaking out the first time that we saw this one on the screen. We all were freaking out the first time that we saw this one on the screen. I admit it. But that was because of the guy with the flamethrower guitar. The track itself is ugly as hell. Aerodynamically speaking, it has to be a nightmare with all those speakers on top. Besides, to give to those speakers the power that they need to work, I don't want to imagine the weight of the batteries. A part of it, compared with all the other vehicles in that movie, including Imperator's Furiosa track, it's dull. In a movie where Immortan Joe's car wins by hit. And on top of that, its only task in the whole movie is to encourage the warriors with its music. Well, you want me to tell you? I only need that in my car radio to cheer me up while I'm driving. Maybe they were just compensating.
Compensating? For what?
Number 6. Cars Without Glass, Time Cop. It makes you think how you can drive a car with no glass of any kind at all. But the excuse is that those are autonomous. So that's not the problem. But I hope that they have a well-covered parking space to park it. Because I don't want to imagine how it can be Like going inside of this car after a couple of hours parked outside under the sun in my village in August, with not a single glass to be put down to let the air come in before the air conditioning starts up. And that in case you have air conditioning, because this movie was made in 1994, and in that time air conditioning was a luxury that not everyone could afford. And the worst thing about all this is that they had to watch the movie to check it out. Gathering information is hard, really hard. Number 5. Police car, Blade Runner. And if in the previous position it was a car with no glass at all, in this position is a glass with practically no car. The problem with this car is not that it's ugly, which it is. In fact, it's uglier than hitting your father with a sweetie sock. The problem with this car is that it's not able to stand the comparison with the other big vehicle in this movie, the Spinner, which, apart of being aesthetically superior, flies. And in a world plagued by androids with philosophical tendencies who wonder about the futility of life and death, something that no one in the Temptation Island is going to do ever. Well, comparing a beautiful flying machine with this glazed orange is like comparing Meet the Spartans with Citizen Kane. Unnecessary, unfair, and a complete waste of time. At least now we know from where the Tesla engineers get the inspiration for the Cybertruck. Number 4. Fire Truck, Fahrenheit 451. I have to admit that I discovered this one while doing the research for this video. When you think about a fire truck, this is the last thing that comes to your mind. But the trick is that in Fahrenheit 451, firefighters, they don't extinguish fires. They create them to burn books. Because books, all of them, they are forbidden. But still, this truck is completely unpractical and totally unsafe. That is not going to pass a safety test. No effing way. No seatbelts, no seats for everyone, no bodywork, not even harnesses for the people that they are standing up to be safe. That's a death trap on wheels. Number 3. 74C Speeder Bike, Star Wars. The only motorbike in this list sneaks pretty high. Aesthetically speaking, it's not a wonder, but it has a pass. Technically speaking, it is not bad, as it is quite manageable in such an adverse environment as the Ender's Moon. But the fact that the only stability control system is so easy to destroy makes them a high-speed death trap. And if you don't believe me, just ask this poor trooper that was just fulfilling his duty. Okay, his duty was to take down the heroes, but no one ever said that to earn a salary had to be ethically acceptable. Did someone? Number 2. Argo, Star Trek Nemesis. This boogie has everything to be so high in this list. It's ugly. It's very ugly. In fact, it's uglier than breaking up with your partner 1 week before Christmas and coming back after Valentine's Day just to save you a couple of gifts. Being a field sample collection vehicle, it has not too much space to store samples, and it seems not stable at all. Even Data, which is probably the only one that is going to survive a crash, is scared of it. It's not even protecting against attacks. But even worse, it's completely absurd to use it when you have a shuttle to go everywhere. But whatever, to see Sir Patrick Stewart smiling. Number 1. All Cars, Death Race 2000. Let's skip Jason Statham's 2008 movie, where the cars were more like the early Mad Max movies cars, but with more modern vehicles. The good one, well, good one to say something, was released in 1975 with David Carradine and Sylvester Stallone. Only with these cars, we already have a list that could be made. But let's put all them together because it's quite more shocking, even more. We are going to start with the most normal, kinda, of all of them, Sylvester Stallone's car. And what stands out the most of it is that piece of machete in front of it, which seems so useful as a fan in Lapland. And of course those 2 machine guns over the lights that doesn't look like a big deal. And that navigator's helmet. So campy. Or what do you think about that bull car with horns, the rink on the snout, and those cute eyes. By the way, for the second part of the movie, they improved that car. Yeah, they cover all the bodywork in fur. Can you imagine the wet dog smell when it rains? But the one that stands out the most is the the lizard one. How the did they that to this Corvette? No, seriously, how? The color painting in the bodywork, those teeth, and that crest in the middle that seems perfect to be able to see all the road while you are driving. Yep, sure. And on top of it, driven by the great David Carradine dress in a bondage slave suite. That's something that a friend told me. And at the end, he wins the race. Wrong! Everything wrong! And so far, this is my first list, and I hope not the last. Do you think that there is any other vehicle that should be in this list? If so, don't hesitate and leave it in the comments. Do not forget to click on like and share if you liked it. Subscribe and ring the bell to receive notifications for next videos. And that's all for today. See you next time, replicants. I remember that, which is not as fast at the ludicrous speed. They create them to burn books. But the trick is, we are going to start with the most normal. Kinda. Who the